Thank you, Valencia, and thank you to the Prime Minister for inviting me to be a part of this important discussion as we discuss the reopening of our borders on Saturday, the 31st of October 2020. As Dr. Laws would have said, our borders were officially closed to commercial traffic on the 25th of March 2020. During that period, we went into full shutdown, and then eventually we started to receive our nationals who wanted to repatriate back home. And we saw between March 26th and October 27th, we saw a total of 1,052 passengers arriving back home. We saw a total of 797 who would have left for their homes. Quite a number of them were from the medical school, Ross University, and in the 1050 that returned, also were quite a number of students who came back to attend our school. There are some new requirements for passengers arriving at the RLB International Airport. There would be some overlapping because Dr. Laws would have covered quite a bit of what I would have to share this evening, and it is a way of reinforcing that we are now in what is considered a new norm, and so we want persons to understand and to adhere to the new protocols once they are coming into or departing our federation. So all travelers to St. Kitts and Nevis must complete a pre-arrival online immigration custom form at least 24 hours before arrival. The online form will also include personal health information, which includes evidence of a negative COVID-19 PCR test done within 72 hours or 3 days of travel. The online immigration custom form is available at www.knatravelform.kn. This online ED form will be officially launched tomorrow in a special NIAC press conference at the Royal St. Kitts Hotel. So you will hear quite a bit more about the online travel form. Passengers must have a valid email, and once the form is completed and submitted, the passenger will receive an automatic reply in that email thanking you for successfully submitting your form. The information would be reviewed by agents from Immigration, Customs, Health, and the Ministry of National Security. Upon approval, passengers will be notified by email with further instructions on entry into St. Kitts and Nevis. In the case where a passenger is rejected, he or she will be notified and advised to contact the Ministry of National Security. Once approval is granted to enter St. Kitts and Nevis, a confirmation email will be generated. The email must be saved to a mobile device or it must be printed. The information, which includes a receipt number and a QR code, which must be presented to Immigration and Customs official upon arrival. All in-transit passengers coming from within the Caribbean bubble, as Dr. Laws would have explained what that bubble is, or from a territory outside the Caribbean bubble, must have proof of a valid negative COVID-19 PCR test result prior to arrival in St. Kitts and Nevis. In light of the fluidity of the COVID-19 pandemic, these protocols are likely to change. Travelers are encouraged to check www.covid19.gov.kn for constant updates. In-transit passengers from within or outside of the bubble without evidence of a valid negative COVID-19 PCR test may be denied entry into St. Kitts and Nevis. The government of St. Kitts and Nevis reserves the right to refuse any person who does not have a valid test result. A device will be placed on the desktop of the immigration booth, where each passenger will be required to scan the QR code, which goes into the border management system for verification. Your travel document would also be scanned for verification, and the details must be consistent with the details provided on the online form. All travel documents must have at least 6 months of validity. Entry into St. Kitts and Nevis must be through the Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw International Airport, the Vance Amri International Airport, the Basse des Seaport, Marina Telka, Christophe Harbour, or Charlestown Seaport. In transit, passengers masks must be worn at all times while at the airport in St. Kitts and Nevis and at all of the seaports. All in-transit passengers must undergo a health assessment, which may include a temperature check and a brief interview by port health officials. I would just like to invite persons to tune in to the press conference tomorrow, because a lot more will be discussed. We will have Mr. Samuel will be there, the National Task Force Chairperson. We will have Ms. Brown from the Ministry of Tourism, someone from SCASPA. Superintendent Henry will be there to discuss the regulations, and we have our distinguished Dr. Laws, who will again discuss the health protocols. So I will come back with some more information. Suffice to say that we already have 8 American airline flights booked to come to St. Kitts from Miami in November, starting November 7th, and we already have 4 BA British Airways flights out of London. We know that Liat should be resuming flights into the Federation, as well as Caribbean Airlines and quite a few of the private charters. And so we look forward to a very successful reopening on Saturday, and we're going to let the technology take us where we have to go. So let us all continue to work together and see our borders reopen successfully. Thank you.